I said, this chick has something missing in her brain. You have built an incredible business. If you look at every incredibly successful person, they're missing it too, where when you have to make really hard decisions, they either don't affect you as much as the average person, or they do affect you, like you said, switching over to commission. They do affect you and you're so scared, but you still make yourself do it anyways.
I think it's just the missing part of my brain and the toxic positivity, but also just having faith in myself and my teammates, like everything's gonna be fine. There hasn't been one single moment in all of the hard stuff through my 8 years that I haven't gotten to the other side of. So I was like, what's this? It's no different than any of the small things either. It's not fun and it's something we have to do, but I know there's still business on the other side.
Welcome. We have Miss M. Buckley with us. She is one of our Rich Life CEO students. And I've been, ever since I asked you to do this, I've been super excited to talk to you in this kind of atmosphere, because I don't think that we've ever really done that. And I knew that I wanted you on the show because I want people to hear your story and the evolution of Willow. A couple things to just point out. M has a 7-figure salon, which is super, super cool. Great profit margin. Top 100, I want to get this right. Top 100 in the world for salon decor from behind the chair. Incredible. How many renovations have you guys done?
Oh my gosh. A lot. It's probably been like 4 or 5 since I first started 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, no wonder you got top 100. And then also heavy on the work-life balance and salon culture. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more about that with you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
So excited. I feel like we could just talk forever. So
I know, right? So tell me, because how long have you been in Rich Life CEO?
I think it's been 3 years.
3 years. Yeah. So I want to start off because, again, I'm really thinking about the audience here and what I think they would most like to hear. Tell me what Willow was like 3 years ago.
Okay. We were successful, but not to the margins that we are now. I mean, it was still like a one-man show. I had an amazing team, but I was wearing 17 hats at once, and work-life balance really wasn't a thing. And I think really what motivated me to join PIP 3 years ago is because I had a 1-year-old, and 1-year-olds are feral. And I just felt like my whole life was all over the place. So I really just needed systems too. That was one of our biggest downfalls, was no real systems.
So were you behind the chair full time then?
Yeah, I was behind the chair about 4 days a week.
4 days a week. How many team members did you have?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I think there were probably like 8 or 10 of us at that point.
And did you have some rental?
Yeah.
And so you did?
Yeah, I did. We were, I mean, not hybrid. We did it a little bit different, but yeah, they were commission, but rental essentially. They had all of their own everything.
Okay. And now you're all commission now.
Yeah, we're all commission. It has been the greatest thing I have ever done for my business, but also for my employees. They love it.
Were you scared to make the move?
Oh my gosh. I couldn't sleep at night. I was like, everyone is going to leave. When I tell them like, hey, we're moving over to like a more commission employee based salon, I thought every single person would leave and not one person left.
Did Erin help you with that?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, but
so
not
you maintained everyone after you.
Yeah.
Man, that speaks so much to your leadership. How did you do that? And how did you have those conversations?
I mean, I just did it scared, and I was just brutally honest with them. And I made sure I had the proof to be like, okay, here's how much you're making now. And here's like what the celebrity experience is going to be when you're an employee and you don't have to worry about buying your own stuff and doing your own taxes and all of the ugly stuff that us as owners do. They don't have to worry about all of that.
For if you could pick one thing as to what like made the biggest impact for you as the owner with making the switch, what would it be?
Oh, it's so hard. I think like related to PIP, I think having Erin there to walk me through it, I never could have done that alone. And then as far as like the business side, I think just having systems so everyone could be held to the same standard, just so the expectation was level. I think before people would come and go and leave a mess, and it just got messy. It wasn't bad, but it was messy. And I really wanted to clean it up and tighten it up because I couldn't necessarily control my feral 1-year-old and everything at home, but I could control the business and start getting that really clean and organized. And when that's done, I feel like that bleeds into my personal life.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you feel like now your work-life balance is better?
100%. That's way better now, especially because I have a leadership team. So now I'm wearing like 1.5 hats versus 17 hats. And that's been extremely helpful. I
So
feel
how long have you been on maternity leave, or how long is your maternity leave going to be
my
total?
maternity leave is going to be about 10 weeks, and I've been gone for 6 weeks. And they've only called me one time. I think one time. So,
And so you haven't checked in, you haven't
no, there's been a few times because I love my job and I love the people there. So there's been a few times where it's like, how's everyone? Like small things, but not like, hey, what's going on? You know, I don't need all the nitty-gritty, but it's just a little bit. And it's been amazing.
So how do you feel like you're able to do that? I mean, there are a lot of people that maybe they could take a 1-week vacation, but like leaving for a month, they definitely couldn't do that. Leaving for 10 weeks for maternity leave is just not something that they feel like they could ever do. Why do you feel okay with it?
I think, well, trust, first of all, and knowing that there's no mistakes that they can't come back from. I think even if something crazy happened and they didn't handle it the way I would have handled it, it's just I can teach them from it. I think too, it's not something that happened overnight. Kyle and I knew we wanted to have another baby and we were trying for like a year and a half. And during that time, I was like, okay, I know I want to take a leave. I know this is our last baby. What are the steps I can do starting now that'll set me up for a great leave when I'm gone? Because I know it's not just about the maternity leave. I know that if I want to take a month off in the summer or whatever it is, now that they're totally capable. But I set it up over a year and a half plus.
Totally. Yes, because because obviously I work with your leaders. I am with them every Monday and I just adore your
They're
girls.
fabulous. They really are. I got
Oh
so
my
lucky.
goodness. Anna, Courtney, and Jules.
Yep.
And they show up every single week. They're on all their calls with Aaron. They're with me every Monday. And it's really cool because when I'm on our group like student calls and there's other leaders that are on the calls or even just owners that don't have leaders yet, and your girls are contributing, asking questions, helping other people say, "Oh, we can help you with that. This is what we do. I can share it." It's just so cool because if you're not aware that they're leaders, you think that they're owners,
Yeah.
which is what every salon owner wants. There was one blackboard where they were asking like a lot of technical questions, and when you're there and you're not on maternity leave, they're not really asking us that. They're listening, they're gaining information, but they're definitely leaning on us for technical questions because they're like, I don't want to have to reach out to the boss. And
Yeah.
I'm like, is everyone on this call hearing that? How they're really trying to figure it out, on their own. And then you've given them the space, just like you said, they can come back from anything. And, if it is a mistake, I can teach them from that.
Yeah.
But they're like actively making decisions in the salon.
Yep.
You said you started working on that a year and a half ago. What did that look like? Like if an owner is listening right now and they're like, I don't have time to train someone because I'm wearing 17 hats. Like, where do I even start? What do you say to that?
Well, my leaders didn't start as leaders. I mean, Analia did actually because she's not a hairstylist. She just does management stuff, which is amazing. But Courtney actually started as a client when I was, oh gosh, this was probably 4.5 years ago. Courtney was a client and now she's a leader. So that was a very interesting, like she
Evolution.
evolution is what I'm looking for. Thank you. So she wasn't a leader. She was a client and we kind of just built her up over time. And then probably she went on maternity leave. And then after that, we really started going in like, okay, because I see a lot of potential in her and she's just a great human. And then Jules, who only works a few days a week, and she's been with me the longest, and I just knew she was capable. So I started slowly putting things onto everyone's plate. And nothing that really needed like a huge pay increase or anything crazy, just to see how they did what they did and managed with it. And they all did really well. And so then I started increasing pay, increasing tasks for them to do. But I also had really good systems in place. For my maternity leave, and I'll continue to use this and just rename it later on, I have like a Bible of every situation and how to respond. They've only contacted me. I said once, it was twice because someone did quit, which No big deal. We handled it. Everything was great. And then yesterday, the toilet is messed up, and they're like, hi, it's going to be over the budget that you said we can use our American Express. So we're just calling to get confirmation. But they wouldn't
That
have.
is so funny because I posted a reel yesterday of Sam. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you
yeah.
saw it,
I did.
of when the boss says we're going to get it done somehow, and then
Yep.
it's like me realizing the somehow, and Courtney commented on it and said, "Yep, just dealt with the plumber. It's got to get done."
Yep. All of our shampoo bowls were leaking, I guess. Like, it was insane. But they would have no idea if I didn't have like the systems in place. Like, here's what'll happen when things hit the fan.
How did you have time to do that? Like to create the Bible?
Every time I would do a task, I would put it in either chat or just in Google Docs and write down what I was doing and have it put to the directions. So every time, like Mondays are a big day for me when I'm doing things. Every time I was updating a sheet or doing whatever it is, I would either film a loom or I would put it in chat to have it write the directions for me. So
Genius.
really, they can run it without me. You could run it, anyone could run it. I mean, without me
And
there.
that's exactly what you want. You
Yeah.
need duplicatable, repeatable systems
Mhm.
written down so other people can do exactly what you're explaining. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I think that you guys are so solid because of how you are as a leader, because there is something very special about you because you have built, how many team members do you have?
I think right now we're at 24.
24.
Yeah.
You have built an incredible business. I'm going to say this and
Oh
I mean
no.
it in the most endearing, it's like the best compliment I could give anybody.
I
And I told
know.
Ashley Thomas the same thing. I'm like, you're psychotic.
I
You
am
are
100%.
psychotic.
I got it.
But also, I will go a step further with you, Em, because I said this to the professors about you. I said, this chick has something missing in her brain
Oh, for sure.
because, and it's something that if you look at every incredibly successful person, they're missing it too, where when you have to make really hard decisions, they either don't affect you as much as the average person, and I do think that is the case sometimes,
Mhm.
or they do affect you, like you said, switching over to commission. They do affect you and you're so scared, but you still make yourself do it anyways.
Yeah.
Now, in a time where I saw that it didn't, I just kept being like, "Oh my goodness." Where it didn't seem like you were all that scared and you weren't stalling or delaying was when you let go of your top producer in April of,
Yeah.
was it April of last year?
Yeah.
How much was she doing per month?
Ooh, I think it was probably close to like 15 or 20 grand a month. I don't remember off the top of my head. And honestly, I'm glad because it just proves it was not important.
Oh, that's so good. That's
But
so good. And it's like regardless of why she was let go, she needed to move on to, she needed to move on and you were willing to make the decision to say, "Hey, it's done here."
yeah.
Knowing that she was the top producer and that you guys were gunning for 1 million. And I remember on a blackboard about 8 weeks maybe before you did it,
Mhm.
you were like sitting in a coffee shop or something like
Yeah.
near the window and you brought it up for the first time. And I'm very cautious about the way I coach in those moments because I definitely am not like, "Oh, she needs to be let go." Because there's way too much context that I need to understand in order to get to that conclusion. Then you show up to another blackboard and you're like way more closer to letting her go. And then I get a DM from you in Slack of like, "It's time." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Whatever you need, I'm going to be right here for you. Let's get on a call, whatever we have to do." But it was so funny to me, Em, because you were just like, "Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but I'm good. It needs to happen. We're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I'm good." I will tell you this. I have coached hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of salon owners. I would even venture to the point where I would say thousands. I've never seen anyone act like that before. Not even close to act like that. What goes on in your head when you're having to make a decision like that? Letting go of a top producer, it's so much money. How's the rest of the team going to react to it? How are we going to pay bills? Like, what were your thoughts?
I think maybe it's just the missing part of my brain and the toxic positivity, but also just having faith in myself and my teammates. Like, everything's going to be fine. There hasn't been one single moment in all of the hard stuff through my 8 years that I haven't gotten to the other side of. So I was like, what's this? It's no different than any of the small things either. It's not fun and it's something we have to do, but I know there's still business on the other side. There's still clients that'll come in, there's still people we'll hire, there's still money to be made. Like that stuff is all infinite to me. So I wasn't, I mean, it was scary and horrifying, but I think the scary part for me was more just the emotions versus the money or the business or any of that stuff because it's not fun. You feel bad. Like I like this person. It's a hard thing to do.
Totally. And I think what's cool about it is your level of rationale is just next level. Like how you can talk to yourself and say what you said intellectually, all of us believe that. And intellectually, all of us know that. But the brain tries to sabotage and it makes you feel like, no, but this, somebody will die in this because the brain really sees it as that, even though we know that that's not true. And that's usually why so many owners hold on for so long because they're afraid of the unknown, like
Yeah,
whatever could happen with it.
totally.
And your just ability to talk yourself through that with true and factual evidence of like, there's business on the other side. We will be able to hire, clients will still come in is incredible. And so I was wanting to like look at your all's numbers and I got in your all's scorecard because I wanted to see at the end of the last year what you guys like, because you were out on maternity leave. So
Yeah.
I wanted to see where you guys ended. And I was able to see like from April on, and it was remarkable. I literally sat right here at this computer with my mouth. I texted all the professors immediately in a group text. I was like, y'all are not going to believe this. She was let go in April, huge producer. The very next month or the month after, so either May or June, you all had a super low month, super low month. And I was like, that's when it's scary.
Yeah.
That's when it's scary. And then the next month, way higher.
Yeah.
September, insane numbers.
Yep.
Then October, higher than September. And then in October, you posted in Slack and said, I thought we were going to have our highest month in September, but it's actually October. We're having our highest month now. And the numbers from that low month in May or June to what it was in September and October. I mean, we're talking well over doubled.
Yeah.
And that is that is insane. You crushed this belief for me. When you lose someone, it takes time to bounce back. And I'm looking at time like at least a year at minimum. And it's going to take me longer, but I can get back to where I was even a little bit more, but it's going to take me at least a year.
Yeah.
When I saw your scorecard and saw complete doubling, more than doubling in a matter of 4 months. And then I can see everyone on the scorecard are all your team members. And then I started running numbers and I realized that in a span of 5 months, you hired 9 new stylists. And then this is what's so cool about numbers, how they amplify and how they compound when quantity is mixed in, but also really great systems, which is clear that you have those. And the scorecard tells that story. 5 months, 9 stylists. I highlighted all the 5 months and all the stylists. And there were several months at the beginning where they're doing like their first month, they do $300, $700. But then it starts to be like $1,500, $2,000. In 5 months, they brought in an additional $65,000.
Crazy. And you want to know something crazier too? So we're a very seasonal salon. June and July, our sales, no matter what, they just go down because it's so hot in Arizona. Everyone leaves. We're right by the college. Everyone leaves. And our staff too. So there will be time where there's only 3 out of the 15 or 18 service providers in the salon at once because I am like, we're slow. It's slow. Go on vacation. Be with your families. Go do things. So that makes it even crazier hearing you say all that because we're such a seasonal salon too.
It was remarkable. And I want to talk about that for a second because I actually gave a long rant. It was like a 10-minute monologue like 4 weeks ago at the end of Blackboard because I see everyone's numbers and I see their aggressiveness or lack of aggression with hiring. And this doesn't have to be about making a ton of money. It can be if that's what you want, but it can also be about what affords you great freedom, what affords you the work-life balance, because I believe that that is absolutely a thing. And when you're a perfect example of this, you're able to take like a great maternity leave, not worry about the salon because you have the people in place, but you also have the money in place to be able to pay those people to do a really good job. So money definitely matters.
For sure.
I'm like, your hiring process has to be on point, and it has to be a huge focus. You have to always be hiring. So I want to talk a little bit about how were you able to hire like that, and how much did your leadership team help with that?
So I actually like to do a lot of the hiring because I just feel like it's a little bit more personal and I can tell them like, look, I know what it's like to be a brand new stylist because I started at the very bottom also, and I just enjoy meeting people and really seeing like, okay, do they have the personality and everything else that we're looking for. The biggest thing when I'm hiring stylists is I don't look at their skill or their technical ability really at all. I always say like hire for the heart, train the hands, because you cannot teach someone to be kind and to say hi. And, you can't teach someone to the culture portion necessarily, but I can 100% teach someone how to do a balayage and extensions and all of the hair things. I think a lot of times owners are looking for stylists who already have a huge book, a huge following, all of the
Mhm.
things. And I think that's not a bad thing. Like if that stumbles my way, absolutely come right in the door. And I know that's happened for you too, where it's like, thank you, like absolutely.
Mhm.
But for me, it's like I don't mind putting in a little bit extra time and effort to get someone and make them exactly what we want the salon to be about. And when we do that, I mean, these girls are successful. They're in the salon a year and a half, and they're already breaking six figures. So I think it can be a bit more simple than people think, but it's just a little bit more time intensive. Like it doesn't happen overnight.
If you want to learn how we helped Em grow her salon and build a phenomenal leadership team that completely runs the show while she's on a 3-month maternity leave, then click the link below and you can watch a 10-minute free training on how we can help do the same for you. Yeah, and so you're not behind the chair at all anymore, right?
I do one day a month just because I love it.
That's
I
Ashley's
love
Mama says 2 days a month. And I think that that's amazing. I think that, like, if you're going to be behind the chair, that's the way that you need to
yeah.
be behind the chair, even 3 days a month.
Yep.
But you have the time to dedicate to this. And I do like it. And I was this way. Well, for a long time, I had nothing to do with hiring because the girl that was the front runner for our hiring just crushed it. I
Yep.
mean, she was model esque. She had the best personality to do it. She could do it just as good as I could.
Yep.
But if we took her out of the equation, I wanted to be the one doing it because I can reel them in. I
Yep.
can reel them in. You're the same
Yep.
exact way. But if we're hiring a lot, and I don't want to do all of the onboarding. I
No.
enjoy like the hiring and the recruiting process. Onboarding, like that's got to be somebody
Yep.
else. Does your leadership team or the rest of your team, do they support in that onboarding
Yeah.
process?
So I have a full SOP for it. And so I like to do the back end stuff where it's like the payroll and all of those things. So
Yeah.
I'll input them in real quick because I have the links, I have everything. It takes me maybe 5 minutes. And then Jules does all of the training, the education, getting them set up with their first day, all of that stuff. And then Courtney, her job is to get together like their welcome bag and really like the experience. So there's two different people for two different things. I will say one leader is more educational, training, hands-on, and one is more like, we're so happy you're here, like the cheerleader kind of thing. That sets us apart.
Because I would think that that would help so much because, like, let's just say if, like, this, like, when you come back from maternity leave, you're going to, like, go bananas with hiring
Yep.
and recruiting.
Yep.
That allows you to just stay in your lane with what you're good at.
Mhm.
As soon as they come in, you get them set up in the back end admin stuff, but then they're passed off to these other two girls that both have their specialties. It's that divide and conquer and the division of workload to where the output can be so much greater because it's not all following on one person. I
Yep.
think that's the reason that you guys were able to hire 9 people and then them produce what they produced in those 5 months.
Yeah.
Where do you find these people?
So I like to just always be in the back of their mind. So I think I'm love the Aveda school. That's where I went. I'm close with the director there. So she's so sweet and is always inviting me to their industry days and things like that. So I work closely with them and then also just Instagram. Anytime someone's doing great work or has an achievement or gets a raise at their current job or whatever, I just like to celebrate people. And so I think just commenting on their stuff and always being like just there. So if they ever think, oh, I'm not loving where I'm at, they might think, oh, let me try here, or let me see what they're about. Another thing with that too is when I get back, I do want to update it a little bit, but I have a pinned post on my Instagram that just says like we're hiring, and I'll always leave that there because I will always be hiring.
So smart.
Yeah, there's never a time that I won't be hiring, especially stylists because they are commission. Like there's nothing for me to lose. We have the chairs, why not? And then
But
also,
especially keeping it as a pinned post
yeah,
on
so
your
it's
Instagram.
always visible. And then also on our website, there's a hiring page that kind of posts what we're about. And it's super simple for someone to just go on and submit their application right away. I mean, I get multiple applications a week from just that page. And I don't necessarily advertise it. I kind of just let it go a little bit lower on my list while I was on leave. And I'm still getting people applying. So I'm very excited for when I'm really pushing it to see how it goes.
How do you think that they find the page? Is it because of your Instagram? Because you have a good following on
Well, I
Instagram.
think the Instagram, and it's just our website. So if someone's like looking up salons or whatever it is, and our website comes up and there's the careers page.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's because that's one of, I feel like the biggest objection salon owners have is I can't find anybody. Or how do you get people to apply with you?
Yeah, I just made sure to really have it on our website, a careers page. And a lot of our stylists and team members too were like friends of a friend.
Yes.
So that's been really
Yes.
nice.
Don't discount that.
Yeah.
The referral aspect of how you meet
Yeah.
stylists. I think that's a big one.
And I think that's pretty cool too. Like, hey, I love my job so much, you should come try it out.
Yeah,
So
it's the
that's like
ultimate
the
compliment.
biggest compliment. I love that. Going back a little bit to the systems and procedures and hiring, I actually hired my sister in December, which is right when I was going on maternity leave. And I was like, hey, I'll hire you, but you're going to have to train yourself. And I think if I would have told myself that, I mean, granted, she's my sister, but if I would have told myself, hey, you're just going to throw someone to one of the most important positions in the salon and they're going to train themselves, I would have said, yeah, freaking right. That's not happening. But she did it, and she is killing it up there because I had everything typed out. Here's the response you're going to send when this happens. Here's how you answer the phone. Here's how you book something. Like everything to the T is done. And she's,
Where is she guest happiness team?
yeah, she's killing it up there.
So have you worked with her at all yet?
No, I told her when I get back in March that we'll do like an audit, but she's doing really well. That's one of the things that I've kind of checked in on because I'm curious being gone, like what's going on with her. But yeah.
And how do you think it'll be like, how do you feel about if you have to give her feedback?
I mean, it's easy. I really do have a good relationship with her. I'm happy to do it, but also she's very respectful of the leaders in the team that we have going. I know she just requested time off because she told me, she's like, it's within the policy, but I'm still going to try. And I said, go for it. Like people try all the time, and it got denied. I'm like, it's the same rule as everyone else. So we have a very special thing. But if I didn't have all of those systems and all of that stuff, there's no way I would have hired someone a week before going on leave.
That is really, really, really cool. And really cool that it's so comfortable for you. And you're like, because you hear people hiring family, you're like,
yeah, horrifying.
I don't know if that's a good idea. And I relate to this because of Sam and Danielle, who purchased my salon, although they're not blood family, but I call them they're my middle sister and my little sister. But it works, and it's never impacted our relationship because there's just such a level of respect there, and there's so much feedback that's given. We really just don't take it personally because we know where our heart space comes from.
Totally.
We just all want us to be better. And so feedback for us has never been an issue. And I'm very grateful for that because I know that not everyone is like that. And there have been people in the past too that when I've went to give feedback, they're defensive.
Yep.
So then I'm like, well, that's the first thing we got to clear up because you can't be defensive in this business if you get feedback. That's what makes us go round.
Yep. And I think too, just setting very clear expectations in the beginning. Like, hey, when we're at work, I'm the boss and you're the employee. When we leave the doors, we can be sisters, like hee hee ha ha. But when we're here, like we're here to work. And so just having clear expectations with her, but with any person in the beginning. Like you said, we give a lot of feedback multiple times a week. I mean, it's not uncommon for us to talk to someone 3 or 4 times, like in one week, like, hey, let's try redoing this verbiage, or here's how you can increase your numbers here. But I think in the beginning with the people that I transitioned over, it was like a hurdle because they're like, whoa, you go from never giving me anything to now multiple times a week. But I've noticed when I'm in that hiring process, it's like, hey, you are lucky because you get to hear from your leadership team multiple times a week. And we will help you with this and that. And any problem you have, you don't have to deal with it. You come right to us, and we are your VIP concierge. Like, we take care of all of that for you. And so with all of our new hires, setting that up in the beginning as an expectation, that it's weird when they don't hear from us for a day or two on how we can help them do better.
I love this. So when you, because I also understand that you go from, having renters and they're like, whoa, 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 you never gave us feedback before. And now it's like completely changed on a dime. When they were like more renters, they all had their own stuff. Did you not see those things? Like, was it that you saw them and you just didn't want to say anything? Or were you just kind of like ignorant to it? Like, or there wasn't a system. So you were like, well, I can't say something because I don't know how to fix it.
I think all of the things. There wasn't a system. I didn't know how to fix it. It was uncomfortable because we've been doing the things the way we have for so long, and they weren't employees. So I couldn't say like, hey, here's how we do things. Here's feedback for you. Let's increase your numbers here. Like, I couldn't do it. And I was very careful with that. And I'm lucky because my husband's a lawyer. My brother-in-law's an employment lawyer. Like, it was a line that I wouldn't even tiptoe towards because I didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, that's true. That time you had your commission people, were you giving them feedback and like redirecting your commission people?
But it was
Does
hard
that
because
feel
there
like
was like, yeah, it was two separate businesses.
Yeah, how do you do when people are like, "Oh, hybrid models work out great." I'm like, "How?"
They don't work out great. I think in the beginning when you don't know what you're doing, sure, because you don't know what you don't know. I mean, but now it's like there's no way. Especially growing the team bigger and having so many people, like there's no way to make it fair and like,
Not chaotic.
yeah, not chaotic. Because if one person sees someone gets to take unlimited time off and their time off got denied, like that's tension even if they don't realize it. Yeah, no. You can't do it.
And so you guys are rule followers. Like you said your sister that wanted to get time off and it was denied. It's like you all have systems in place, you abide by the systems.
Yeah.
Was that challenging for you, like sticking to, because this is hard for a lot of owners. They're friends with their teams, which so was I. I totally believe in being friends. I do. Because that doesn't mean that you still can't have guidelines that you stand on. Is that hard for you ever or not anymore because you're just so used to it?
I think in the beginning it was a massive hurdle that I had to come over because I love everyone and I feel like I love hard. But now it's just kind of an expectation. Like they know. And if there is something where it's like time off, for example, where they're like, this came up, I didn't know, like there's things, you're not a repeat offender. I understand you want to do this. Sure, go do it. But remember, here's our policy and we have to stick to that. Like there are times where I'll absolutely, things come up, life happens. I'm understanding and I want to be very mindful of work-life balance, but at the same time, like we follow what system.
We follow the rules.
Yeah. We follow the rules, especially now that there's leaders too, because it couldn't be like, well, M said this, M said that. That was one of the things that we did deal with when we started getting leaders. And it's important just to make sure everyone's on the same page all the time. Because
how did you do? I remember this. Like M
Mhm.
said this. How did you support your leaders so your team was crystal clear on if they say something,
Yeah.
you get to follow by it?
Yeah. I think part of that, it showed me where wasn't crystal clear, where maybe it was clear, but not like
Crystal?
crystal clear. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a good reminder for me to go back and be like, okay, let's go over and modify these things a bit, but also to encourage them to be like, okay, I understand. Like, that's what she said. But also, I'm saying, here's what's going to work best for everybody. Because when M's not here to make these decisions, they fall on me and blah, blah, blah. So I think just helping them in their leadership and coaching too, to be like, it's okay to be like, well, M's not here and this is my job too. I have to do my job. And I would say that probably lasted only like a month or two. And now everyone just is like, oh, okay, it's normal.
So when you are revising a system, and when I say revising a system, I'm really pointing to like a rule or a guideline of whether it's vacation time or you can't leave just because your last guest was at 3, but you're supposed to work till 8 or whatever it is. I don't know. When you need to revise something because you're like, okay, fair enough. That wasn't I thought it was clear. It's not crystal clear. We need to make it that way. You revise it. Do you get the team's input on it at all? One. And then two, when you go to communicate it, how does that look? Are you doing it one-on-one? Are you doing it as a team?
I think a lot of it depends on what the rule
It
or
is.
the system or whatever it is. One that comes to mind is we are a snack salon, a drink salon. Like we love the food. And this is just a silly example, first thing that comes to mind. But we were going through like $600 or $700 a month in Costco, right? And I'm like, you guys, this cannot be happening. Like, I am not your mom. I am not your grocery store. Like, get one snack and we're done. So for me, I was like, okay, this is way too much money. These are for guests. I'm going to make everyone pay $1 per snack, right? And then I start thinking about it and I'm talking to leadership and they're giving me ideas and I'm like, okay, maybe that's too harsh. So I brought it to the team. And this actually, I hadn't done this before and I thought it was so amazing because I said, guys, here's our problem. We're spending $700 a month. That's however much per year. We could be putting this money in fun things. What do you guys think we should do to help get this bill lower? Because that's insane. And they had some cool ideas and things that I would have never thought of. And I thought not only was it cool, like, yeah, we're saving money, it's lowering our bill, but they get an input in something that, yes, it's small, but it's something that I feel like it kind of creates those waves of like, oh, okay, well, now I can pitch this idea, or now I can bring up these things where something as small as snacks. And we see that all the time now where people are like, hey, I have this idea about this in their one-on-ones. Before I left, I had a stylist who was like, hey, I think a position would be really cool of like a floor stylist. So when no leadership is here or they're busy or whatever, there's someone on the floor who can help with these things. Or and I think that all happened just from little things like that, letting them chime in and give their 2 cents and ideas, which I think is really valuable.
Very
Yeah.
valuable. It's so valuable because the ideas of a whole are way better
Yeah.
than your ideas,
Yeah.
than one person's ideas.
Yeah.
And the trust, the confidence, the you believing that your voice is going to be heard. And I know that that can sound dramatic and like a little
No,
whatever, but
but
like it's
it's so
true.
true.
It's true.
It's
It
so
really,
true.
really is true. And then you
Yeah.
get the best of what people have to offer. And then what's also awesome is when we're trying to like solve the world's problems by like fixing this system and then telling the team this is what we're going to do moving forward. You're creating a culture of dependence
Mhm.
of people that cannot think for themselves. So every little thing that goes wrong, they come to you and they're like, can you fix this? Where it's like, it's much better if you're a part of the fixing,
Yep.
but they come to you with ideas of the solution
Yeah,
because
I
you've
love it.
allowed that thought process, you know?
Yeah, I did a really cool, it was like my maternity leave meeting, but it was about like creating a leader and how everyone is already a leader, even if you don't have a title. I think I titled it like leading without a title or something, but how they don't need permission to fix something or to get something off the wall or like small things. You don't need permission, like you're already a leader. And I think that's something that everyone needs to hear, even the leaders, like, hey, you're doing a great job and you have the capability to lead, because when you do something your team sees that and then they will feel inspired to do something else. Like you don't have to be a manager or an owner or a
No.
lead or any of that stuff to be a leader. And I think especially with the younger girls on my team, they feel like they have to have the title to be a leader or to ask for help or to tell someone something. And so I think helping them has been very helpful for us, because then we don't get bombarded with the little things that anyone can do.
Totally. I remember when you were working on this, like leading
Mhm.
without a title. And
Mhm.
it's like, and when you're able to do that and you're somebody where like the title is irrelevant, you just act like a leader
Yep.
because it doesn't matter if you have a title. Like people are still going people follow who leads,
Yep.
regardless if there's a title attached to your name or not. And that's the kind of leader that you want to be because then when people follow and they seek your counsel or they know they come to you with support, it's not because you have a title. It's because they know that they can count on you.
Yeah.
And that's just a way more cohesive way of leading. And one thing I wanted to say before I get to this last point is what I just think is really, really cool about your personality is that you are so bubbly. Like,
Thank you.
if you look at your Instagram and it's like Diet Coke,
Here I am
what's
with my Coke Zero.
that's and it's like what's funny is like this is the stuff that you post about. And like you're super creative on your social media. You just look like a really fun, well, not just look, you are.
Thank you.
but you also look at fun, bubbly, like girl's girl. But then for people to also realize, hopefully in this show, that you mean business also, and
Yeah.
you are not afraid to take care of business, to handle business, to have any conversation that you need to have. And if you are afraid, you still do it anyways and you do it scared. I think this is a huge problem that not just salon owners, but many owners have with being able to have the courage and the confidence and the belief of like, no, I have to do this because this is actually what makes them successful and what makes me successful.
Yeah.
And you handle both of those with such grace because from the outside looking in, you would not think that you were like having conversations with people when they needed it 2 to 3 times a week. You would not think that because most people don't do that because it's awkward, it's uncomfortable. You want your team to like you.
Yeah.
But it's like you do that and your team loves you. You have a huge team and they are freaking Willow, dude. I
Mhm.
mean, they are
You're the best.
bought in.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's
They
so
are the
cool. And
best.
hopefully that is an example that people see from this is you can be tough and be also a huge lover at the same time because
Yeah.
that's actually what creates the most respect because
Yeah.
your team has that for you.
Yeah. And I think that really has worked in my favor because I am bubbly and fun and we do a lot of cool stuff. But my team also knows that this is my business and I want what's best for them. And sometimes we do have to have those awkward conversations or those tough conversations. But anytime I do that, I always tell them, like, look, I always, if you set the expectation in the beginning, things go better after. So I just say, look, this is going to be awkward. Like, we're going to have to talk about your appearance this week or whatever it is. But that doesn't mean like I love them any less or I treat them any different. And I think that's one thing that I am proud of is I think that they all know that too. And most of the time when
Oof.
we do have to have these conversations, they already know it. They're like, oh man,
Totally.
oh
Totally. They
man.
already know it. And with you, they know that you're going to say something.
Yeah.
Is there something else that you can think of off the top of your head that you do that with that you feel like really serves you as a leader?
I mean, I think every conversation, I mean, starting it that way, positive or negative. And I think too, when I do call these meetings, I like, and when they call them with me, they know, like, tell me what it's about. Because I hate when someone's like, hey, can I schedule a meeting with you? I'm like, great. Do you want to go over, are you quitting? Do you want to go over a raise? Are you excited about this? Like, what do you want to talk about? But I know that they think the same way. So just giving them that peace of mind, like, hey, I want to meet with you to go over blah, blah, blah. I think it's so important for both people. But as far as other nuggets,
That's also a good one.
yeah,
When you're scheduling the meeting to talk with them,
yeah, because I
you
never,
tell them what it's for.
yeah, I never want someone to like lose sleep at night or be so anxious they can't function because they don't know what's coming. Because I could be celebrating them and hey, here's a raise. And when I do have those hard things, like even letting someone go, it was never like hostile or mean or rude. Like I was very upfront, like, hey, this is going to be a hard conversation. We're going to talk about your employment because I think we're both in different chapters now. And I want to celebrate the chapter you've had here, but I think it's like it's done, it's ending.
When it's those difficult
Yeah.
conversations, do you try to make the gap in between when you say that or send the text or whatever, or call them or say it to their face? Do you try to make the gap of like the appointment, like the next day?
Yeah, I try to make it slim, like short in time. But
Yeah.
sometimes the schedule, I mean, it dictates when we do it. But those things I really try to get done immediately. One thing about that too, when I did make that change to let that stylist go, I had never had more respect for my team because
How so?
they were like, we never thought you would do that. And I'm like, well, money's not the ultimate thing to me. My team and the growth of my team and everything you guys see and hear and feel is way more important to me and way more valuable than the money that someone could have brought in. And I think that was another cool outlook because we still hit over 1 million that year and we lost her at the
Crushed
beginning of
it.
the year. Like,
Crushed it. Oh my gosh.
and I
So
think
cool.
yeah, it was way cool. But I think just having their respect with those things, like, and letting her go really showed them, like, I'm not just some money hungry owner. Like, that's not what I want. I want everyone else to grow. And yeah, when they grow, I grow. But it's not, I'm not just sitting on the top. Like, I'm right there in the muck with you guys when it's rough.
Yeah, you
So,
walked the walk.
yeah.
Many people can say it's not about the money.
Hmm.
but they don't necessarily prove it with actions. That was the biggest way that you could have proven that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they respected it. And it just is wild to me what your numbers looked like, because that was the year that you were going for $1 million.
Yep.
The fact that, and then I was wondering, like literally on December 31st, because I worked a lot over Christmas break, December 31st, January 1st, I was like, did they hit it? Did they hit it? And then when I saw your all scorecard, and I was like, oh, they went well beyond,
I
well
honestly,
beyond.
I don't even know the number. Anna just texted me and said, "Hey, thought you should know we hit over 1 million." And I was like, okay. So when I get
Oh,
back, I'm gonna have to deep
oh,
dive.
oh my gosh. It just incredible, incredible, incredible. And it just shows that you willing to make that hard decision. It's like you were just so, you made some stuff happen after that that just doesn't make sense, because what it did to the second half of your year is just phenomenal.
Thank
I
you.
mean, really, really cool.
I think honestly, it just let some of those younger stylists like come out of their shell a bit.
Had to have, because the performance of everyone, obviously including those new hires that you hire, but the performance of everyone just improved, where you could tell by, because numbers tell a story. There's
Mhm.
so much that I can see in a scorecard. You can tell that culture was impacted,
Yeah.
or their spirit was impacted, just by what you guys were doing the second half of the year, which is, I'll literally never forget that. I'll never forget, like, looking at that, because I'm a numbers crazy girl, just dissecting it and being like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. So good for you.
Thank you.
My last thing would be, what is something that you used to believe that you've changed your mind on, that you don't believe is true anymore?
I would say success for sure. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately because success to me 5 years ago, 8 years ago, now, like at every stage of my life is so different. When I opened Willow, I was 21. No, yeah, I was 21. And my goal was like, okay, I want this massive salon with crystal chandeliers and a huge building and multiple locations and all of these things. And the more I've gone through it, the more I've come to realize like that's not success to me anymore. And then it came, okay, well, I want a lot of money in the house and the cars, which, okay, that's cool and great. But now I think it's just time. I want freedom in my time because my girls are young. I want to travel. I want to give them all of that life. So it's not necessarily, I mean, the money, yes, it's important. I'm a business. I have to pay employees and pay my bills, but now it's just time. So I think, yeah, our success is fluid. It's not one thing. And I think even hitting 1 million, like that was my ultimate goal. I'm like, I will be successful when,
Mm.
but that's not it anymore. I think right now success for me is my freedom and my time, and maybe in 10 years it'll be growing into new buildings or buying a building. Like success can always change, but I think I always had it in my head is I will be successful when I have this much in my bank account or when I have this many employees. But it's not all those things that matter truly to me, at least.
It's really funny that you say that, because I definitely relate to it. Right now, I think I'm in a little bit of a different season, but I remember telling myself, like, I had this huge goal, like, for me to hit like $1 million in my bank account. Like, I wanted $1 million in the bank. I was like, man, I will, which is so funny now, 'cause I think about that and I'm like, please, please. Like, when I see how much my monthly, like for business,
Yeah.
our monthly expenses are, I'm
Mhm.
like, $1 million. No, I need that times 10.
Yep. It's
But then
expensive.
it's
Owning a
so
business is so
expensive.
expensive.
And I remember when, I had $1 million in my bank account, I was just like, gosh, I'm not even close. And now, like you said, money is super important. But there is just something strange, because when your basic needs are met, which mine are, which yours are, basic needs is in like food, roof over
Shelter.
our heads. But then if you take it a step further and it's like, but I do have more than my basic needs being met, so do you. I can and I do not say this to be boastful, but I can pretty much do whatever I want, whenever I want, take any vacations. Now, obviously, if I wanted to go to Paris 4 times a year, like that would probably put us in a little bit of a crunch, but we can like do some serious vacations
Mhm.
multiple times a year if we wanted to. And there just comes a point where it's like when you've been successful and you've seen a lot of money, money just is not the end goal. Of course, we want money to keep growing. I don't want to
Absolutely.
discount on how valuable I feel like money is, but becoming a mom and just me like being with my kids and seeing you posted something on your stories and we're very driven, but you posted something on your stories and you're like being with them. And I think it was a little picture of Rosie and you were like, they just make me realize nothing else matters. And
Mhm.
I was like, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I feel that literally, it's probably something I think about every day because I work so hard. I care about work. I just love work. I
Me too.
love what I do.
Me
There's definitely a slight obsession there.
too.
But when work is really hard, what's so great is my identity is not found in work.
Mhm.
So when I'm finished for the day, or if I'm finished on a Friday and then it's the weekend because I don't work on the weekends and I get to be with my babies and my husband, I'm like, this is what is important in my life.
Yep.
And there isn't a close second. Now, second is work, but it's just like when I was, because you're what, 29 then?
Yeah.
20, gosh, I'm so old. I'll
I'm
be
pretty
30,
young.
10 years older than you. And I'm
Oh,
literally looking at you when we first met and I'm like, oh yeah, we're the same age. We're totally
we
the same
are.
age.
You're
Oh my God.
young.
I am young. I am basically 29.
Yeah.
But when I was 29, though, like you're so well beyond your years. When I was 29, no, it was about chasing that paper, honey. It was
Uh-huh.
about getting a bag. I wanted to make money, because I didn't have really I didn't have kids. I wasn't a mom yet.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for you, for the businesswoman that you are. But also, it's so endearing to me and so relatable to me because in this way, we are in the same season of life. We have
Mhm.
two small babies, and that part of our lives we value the most.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see somebody else that loves their career as much as I love mine, but also knows what a gift motherhood is.
Yeah. And it's just such a short, I mean, it's such a short time. Like they're gonna
Do
be,
not get me started
I
on
know,
this.
they're gonna be little for not so long. And then I can deep dive so heavy into exactly what I want in my business. But I mean, tying that back to success is just, I feel the most successful right now because I've set everything up to be able to take a long maternity leave, to have leaders, to do my business, to have freedom. And I think that's really special because if you would have looked at me when I first started my business and you're like, okay, here's what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be making, I would have been like, that's not success because at that point, yeah, I wanted the bag too. But it's so cool how success can change and you can feel like, okay, in every season.
Oh, it's a beautiful point. Such a beautiful point. Do you feel like right now in your life you have good balance? Like, obviously, you're on maternity leave,
Yeah.
but do you feel like you have pretty good balance?
I mean, pretty good. I love working. So it's definitely something when I come back, I definitely want to be more strict with like my office hours and things like that. But I do feel like I balance it pretty well. And it is cool with with kind of how I've set things up now. If Kyle and I go on a trip or do whatever we do, I can still work from where
Yes.
we're at. I mean, you know that you ran your salon from states
Yes.
over. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm very happy with where I'm at now, but I also don't want that to discredit for everyone listening to like it takes a long time to get to this point. And even now, like those tough conversations and the hard walks, like it's going to continue on the whole time I have this salon. Like that's just part of the game.
It is.
Um,
It is. I can relate to that. Like it's taken a long time to get here, but now because now I'm working in a completely different business with PIP University, and I don't have my salon. It's very different from running a salon. And running a salon for me, I wouldn't say it was easy. It was not easy by any means, but I kind of always knew what to do. Like
mhm,
if it was culture, I knew what to do with culture because I spent years and God, probably $75,000 on education to be a better leader.
mhm,
And then if it came to making more money with the salon, like, yeah, that was easy for me. I knew how to make money and I knew how to help other hairstylists make money.
mhm.
PIP is a whole different beast. So it's like starting from the very beginning or starting at ground zero where it is hard now. And
Yeah,
I'm not in a season of alignment and I am not like, no, it is hard work. It is figuring things out that I don't know right now. And so, but I had that time with the salon.
Mhm.
And so right now it's about like putting your head down
Yeah,
and working. But that's also success. Like the
it
evolution of
is.
it
And
is,
that's normal. That's just the
yes.
normal evolution of a business. Like for years, I mean, my head was down and I was going hard.
Yep.
I think that's so, it's normal. That is so normal. And I will say, like, not to put a plug in for Pip or anything. No one asked me to do
Go
this.
ahead.
No
Go
one
ahead.
asked me to do this, but I'm going to do this. I truly am so thankful for it because I feel like, I think I even told this to you once before, like, I drove my bus and I drove it really far, but I was out of gas. Like, I took it as far as it could go, and I really needed people in a program to help me do it. Like, I started my salon with $2,000. Like, that's nothing, but that's all the money I had. And I was like, I have to make it work. And so I did for as long as I could. And then I found an Instagram ad and here we are. So I'm just so thankful for everything that your business has, I mean, has helped me do in mine. So keep putting your head down. Thank you so much. Keep grinding
And thank you
because I
for
need
saying that
it.
because I said something similar to Ashley. It's like you, obviously, there's no greater reward than when I check Slack and when I see the wins channel of salon owners posting their wins. And you definitely, have posted several times in the wins channel. And every time I see one from you, I get so excited because I know it's going to be good. And it's been awesome to watch, like, you take what we do and you do it. Like, you do the work and you're willing, like, and that may come as a surprise for you. Not everybody does that. You're willing to get feedback. You're willing to put yourself in hot water. And it's like, well, do you want to grow or do you not want to grow? Because if you want to
Mhm.
grow, this is what's required and you have to do it this way.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, things are customized. They should be. Not every salon does everything that we teach in the exact way that we teach it, but there is some form or another of what we teach in the salon. And you are the epitome of doing that stuff. And to watch how it's unfolded in Willow has been so cool. Like, Aaron, your professor, has like sung your praises from the very beginning.
She was,
She's always been like, this girl has something special. Her ability to lead people, her ability to get things done and do them with a smile on her face, she's a beast. And then obviously I started to get to know you and I was like, yeah, you're totally right. So thank you for actually doing the work.
well, thank you
Really
for
cool.
giving me the work to do because I really just didn't know how to do it. I had the like the willpower, but I didn't have anything else. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, it's been awesome talking to you. This was
Thank you
so
so
fun.
much.
Hopefully, if you're listening right now, this was of value to you. And where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's M the Stylist. EM the Stylist is my page. You'll see all of my sodas and all the silly things I do.
Yes. So go follow her. And thank you so much for tuning in today.
Thank
Bye, guys.
you.